guys, and welcome back to my channel, Rapture Dreams, where we go over end times news and signs of the end times. If you would, go ahead and like and subscribe to my page for all notifications, hit the bell. So, Queen Elizabeth II has passed away, and she has died at age 96. So we're going to go over that. She fell ill, which they had already announced to the press that members of the royal family were with her, as her health was deteriorating. Very quickly thereafter, she has now passed away. For 70 years, she has been the Queen of Great Britain. Prince Charles is now the King of England. And a lot of people say that she was saved. I hope that she was, because she would be with the Lord if she were. I'd like to speak some Bible prophecy to you, as this channel is Rapture. But first, let's get into some details of what happens to the monarchy next. As this channel's name is Rapture Dreams, and we are watching and waiting and anticipating the return of our Messiah, Jesus Christ. I know I feel like it's the end of an era. He states clearly in the Bible that strength of a generation is 70 years by way of strength 80 years. It's been 74 years into the fig tree generation, and the state of Israel was established. So the Queen has seen a lot. She's seen it all. World War II, the state of Israel being established, other wars in between. It's just been chaotic during her reign. And I think that is very interesting that she has been around for 96 years with a reign of 70 years as the Queen, the longest reigning monarch that they have ever had in Britain. So, code name, it is being communicated, London Bridge is down. So the world's longest reigning monarch on the day of the Queen's death, simply known as D-Day. Television news anchors will be changing into black attire. They will rush around the world to publish prepared obituaries. The most formal and official notice will come from Buckingham Palace itself, and it will be pinned to the gate there at Buckingham. The royal family's website will post with a black background, and flags will be flown at half-mast. A service of remembrance is expected to take place with London's Prime Minister and other senior ministries will be in attendance. He, the Prime Minister, will hold a meeting with Prince Charles, who is now the King of England. Her eldest son, who will then broadcast to the nation, Prince Charles. And the Queen will lay rest for 10 days after her now death, in her coffin will be transported down to London Royal train dubbed Operation Unicorn, or by plane, Operation Overstudy, but I think that they are leaning towards a train transport. There it will be received by the Prime Minister 4 days after the Queen's death. There will be a procession from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster, where she will lie in state before the funeral, where the public can pay respects to her before her funeral. The funeral at Westminster Abbey will be considered a national day of mourning. We just had a day of mourning with the Tish B'Av video that I created on this channel, if you'd like to go back and look at that. It's a Jewish holiday. A lot of things happened on the day of mourning. We just had it. Both the temples were destroyed on that day, along with other historical things that happened to the Jewish people on the day of mourning. With a 2-minute silence observed across the country at midday, she will then be buried next to Prince Philip, her husband, at Windsor Castle, and her father, King George, who she cared for very much. Prince Charles will automatically inherit the throne as now the King of England, as well as the rights and responsibilities that go along with that. Cash, stamps, and flags have the royal symbols on them will now change, because the current cash notes have her face along with the coins, and they say, "God save our gracious Queen," which they will switch to "God save our gracious King." So, and if you see me blocking out, I have had just some brain surgery here, so that's why half of my face is being cut out of the shot. And thank you guys on this channel who have already subscribed to me, who has sent me blessings for healing. I'm doing really well. So, now that we have this going on, I would like to get into some Bible prophecy with you, because that's what this channel is about. So I'd like to start with a verse And it's from Daniel, and it says, Daniel chapter 2, verses 21. And he changeth the times and the season, he removeth kings, and he stretcheth up kings, and giveth wisdom to the wise, and knowledge to them that they know understanding. So it'll say that God is in control. He changeth the times, the season, he removed kings, he set up kings. And we know that Prince Charles is friends with Klaus Schwab. And we know from the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation that there will be 10 kings that will rise, that will precede the arrival of the future Antichrist. And they are called the 10 horns. So there'll be 10 kings in the book of Revelation. Now that the queen has passed, we see how this has to do with Bible prophecy very much. As soon as I heard, I had to come straight on and post because it just seemed like a sign to me that this would happen, that they would need 10 kings in order, to precede the arrival of future Antichrist. So they are called the 10 horns according to Revelation prophecy. And we are told that these kings will give their power onto the beast. So what we just witnessed going on from the death of the Queen Elizabeth, as she had reigned for 70 years, very interesting 70 years, to King Charles, who's a friend of Klaus Schwab. If y'all don't know who he is, he's a big player in the climate change agenda and a supporter of the Agenda 2030. This is a game changer. Again, we continue to see the world leaders coming into power. And that will play along with the coming empire of the Antichrist from a biblical standpoint. We see the chess pieces continue to move perfectly, and the props are in position for the final act, the coming tribulation period. We talked about tribulation period setting up in this way, like a cashless society needs to happen, so we're going to go over that really quick. So we see a tribulation casting a shadow here on the earth. The stage is being set for the rise of the 10 kings, and that will precede the arrival of future Antichrist, and that will give their power onto the beast. And it's all set for the one world government, this new world order, the new world currency. So the cashless society we talked about before. I don't know if they will even print King Charles money. We already went over the Pope in our last video, wanting citizen funds to be transferred into the Vatican Bank immediately within 30 days. So the deadline for that is October the 1st. He wants all funds into the Vatican. And a cashless society, remember, also is a part of the mark system. They couldn't buy or sell without the mark. So we have to go cashless. So I don't even know if they're going to print new money. That will be interesting to see in the coming weeks if they do or don't. I know that they have to turn in the Queen's money because at a certain point it will become not accessible, like you can't use it anymore. So now we as believers in Jesus know that the rapture of the church needs to occur before the tribulation period starts. And to end this video, I'd like to explain why I believe that the rapture of the Church of Jesus Christ needs to take place before tribulation period. And we can see that very clearly in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 6 through 12. And now you know what is restraining, that he may be revealed in his own time. For the mystery of the lawless one is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way, and the lawless one will be revealed. So what this verse means, and it's not an interpretation, this is not my opinion, this is the words of Jesus Christ himself. What this verse means, and I'll read it one more time. And now you know what is restraining, that he may be revealed in his own time, for the mystery of the lawless one is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way, and then the lawless one will be revealed. What that says and screams to me is that the rapture event will be a pre-tribulation rapture. On this channel, we do not judge those who think that the trib happens at a certain point or that we've already started the tribulation period. We see a lot of conditioning, a lot of precursors to the trib. We just had massive amounts of hail and flooding and earthquakes, and people think that we're already in a tribulation period because there's so many signs of the end times going on currently right now. But as bad as you think that it is a time in history that Jesus Christ tells us will be the worst that the world has ever seen. And they are conditioning us for the beast system. There is not a mark out yet. There's no mark of the beast yet. So the chips in people's hands or anything that you might see going on and people are like, that's the mark. There will be a mark system. You won't be able to buy or trade or sell without this mark. So I implore you that if we have been raptured, the church, so far, and millions of people have disappeared on this planet, your loved ones are in heaven with Jesus in our new glorified bodies. And I implore you not to take the mark of the beast, or, to go with government at this time. They may outlaw Bibles. There will be a world leader come into the scene saying peace and safety when sudden destruction. He won't mean what he says. He'll seem peaceful, but he will reveal himself in his own time. And that person will be accepted by the Jewish people, the ones who are left, and this will be the Antichrist. So don't take the mark. Anyways, the lawless ones at work until he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way. The restraint on the earth right now, the one that's restraining the Antichrist and the devil, are the believers, the true believers of Yeshua, Jesus Christ. We restrain because we make videos like this, telling you, that he's coming. He's coming in the rapture. He's coming incredibly soon. And the reason why we know this is because we know the season. It says that nobody knows the day or hour, but that you might know a season of which, and I will be coming to come and get you. We know that from the fig tree generation, like I said, the 70 to 80 year mark. The Jewish people have celebrated their 74th anniversary of becoming a state. And they're trying to introduce a two-state solution in Israel right now. So, yes, that's God's country. God says that if you mess with Israel, it would be like poking him in the eye. So until we are taken out of the way, and then the lawless one will be revealed. The lawless one is the Antichrist, and he cannot be revealed until the rapture happens. So we know that it is close. The queen passing away to me was a huge sign because of the kings that will rise and come into power, and then they will hand that power over to the lawless one. So it is important for us to keep looking up as a family in Jesus. And, I give my condolences for the queen, and I really do hope that she was saved and that she is now with the Lord. I just do not believe that the company that Prince or King Charles keeps in Klaus Schwab is very well. Since I do believe we are in the end times, it would make sense that there would need to be 10 kings, which now we have. They will take apart all of our governments and turn them cashless, and then, they will elect certain leaders. We see that certain leaders are falling away. Certain leaders have been assassinated in certain countries that are very third world. Some people are stepping down, like the Prime Minister of Great Britain, or, and then a lot of the leaders have become very corrupt, like Justin Trudeau of Canada and other places. So a lot of people for this pro-choice, and you just see a great divide in our nation, including the United States of America, where I live. There's a great divide in this country right now, and it says in our Bible that Jesus says that he is the division. It would be like, the reason for that is the true believers, the bride of Christ. So it would be like he says in a parable, separating the wheat from the tares, or the goat from the sheep. We see that on every single issue in America right now and around the world, that we're just divided. We're very divided, and he says that a kingdom divided against itself cannot withstand either. So we have to keep looking up and waiting for that day that we hear the trumpet sound at the appointed time. And we're going to be watching on this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short message from Rapture Dreams, me. And you come back by and see me and subscribe and hit like on this channel so that you can get all your notifications. Y'all have a good night.